So Pete Terry and Jeremy Levier here for the New Hampshire Notebook, previewing the Division II boys basketball Final Four. We know who the teams are going to be, and we know when the games are going to happen. Wednesday night, and the semifinals. You have number 1 seed Hanover going against number 5 seed Bedford, and in the other semifinal, number 2 seed Portsmouth against the surprise team. The other 3 teams, I don't think it's any shock that they're in the Final Four, but Portsmouth going against number 11 seed Coe-Brown. A big shock that the Coe-Brown Bears are in the Final Four.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, last night I had no clue. I woke up this morning, I would go to the Union Leader, and they just have a breakdown tournament section, and I see Coe-Brown wins, and I am totally, absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just kind of assumed it was going to be Pembroke and Portsmouth in that semifinal, and a lot of people probably assumed that the winner of that game would win the championship. But I mean, Pembroke all year they were one of the top teams, and I think Coe-Brown, they had some injuries during the season. Skylar Mitchell finally got back healthy for them. Darren Douillon is a very good player. Tommy Darling at point guard. They have some good players, but still a shocker that they were able to beat Pembroke.
Yeah, in Pembroke, unbelievable. I was so badly hoping for that Pembroke-Portsmouth semifinal. I'm very disappointed that I'm not going to see that, and I think Portsmouth has got to be feeling pretty good. No disrespect to Coe-Brown, but look, Portsmouth is on a roll right now. They've won 2 playoff games now by over 50 points each time. They're on a roll right now. And in the other bracket, who knows? I mean, Hanover and Bedford. If I'm Bedford, I'm thinking, hey, that tiebreaker worked out okay, because I would say that Hanover was the weakest of those 4 teams that were all tied for first place. So I think it's going to be an exciting Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think that Portsmouth definitely the favorites in the first semifinal, but I mean, if Coe-Brown could beat Pembroke, who's to say they can't beat Portsmouth? But Portsmouth, definitely the favorites. And the other one, I think it's a toss-up. Hanover and Bedford. I mean, you saw Bedford the other night when they played against Souhegan. I know you haven't seen Hanover yet, but how do you think Bedford, fares going up against Hanover? Considering that, Hanover definitely a much tougher team when you have to make a drive all the way up to Hanover. This game being played at UNH, so Hanover doesn't have that home court advantage.
Right, exactly. But I'm sure the whole town of Hanover will be there, so they'll definitely have plenty of fan support. But Bedford, I think the thing with them is their big guys are playing so well. Colin McManus has really stepped up his game. I think he's a difference maker. Trevor Fahmy's very, very good. I think they got 2 really good guards in Glassman and Caparel. They're just going to need one other guy to step up, maybe a couple other guys, but the kid who stepped up against Souhegan was Cameron Maservi. He had a huge game. That kid can play.
Yeah, Bedford, they seem to be playing good basketball at the right time, and they took advantage of a Souhegan team that was a little undermanned in that game in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, they were missing a couple of starters. I talked to Coach Heaney after the game. He said it was a team rule situation, but he was very happy with the guys that he did have out there, and he thought that they gave their hearts. They played very, very, very poorly, in my opinion, but they were down a couple of guys. They still had a chance to be in that game. It seemed like Bedford would take a little bit of a lead. Souhegan would storm right back. Zach Simmons had a really good game. A kid that has been doing it all year long, Brandon Len, only had 2 points in the entire game, and they were on the free throw line with just a few seconds left. So, credit Souhegan for getting where they were. I'm a little bit surprised that they lost that game, especially at home.
Yeah, and you look at Hanover, and a lot of people have been saying, oh yeah, the number 1 seed, or they've been up there in the standings, but they're not that good. I mean, they're a good basketball team. Lebanon, they went to Pelham and beat Pelham in the first round, and then Hanover, that's a big rivalry for Hanover to come away with a win against Lebanon in the quarterfinals. They're a good basketball team, and you have to be very careful of them. They have some physical players inside, and they have some kids that can shoot from the outside. They don't rely on just one player. They really move the ball well. Daniel Gorman, Cyrus Rothwell, they got some kids that can shoot the ball all around the perimeter, and they have 5-6 kids that can all play, and they're a deep team as well. 8-9 kids that they go deep, and they're physical. They can play a slow half-court game, and they can run as well. I think that's going to be a great game with them in Bedford. Coe-Brown and Portsmouth. Portsmouth definitely the favorite. With Kamal Walker, Kyle DeCesare, they seem to have a very deep team. They've won, I think, 7-8 games in a row now after they had those 2 losses in the middle of the season. I don't know about you, Pete, but I think Portsmouth has to be the favorite going into this Final Four.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, but Jim Mulvey, I read a quote that he had after the game last night about Coe-Brown saying that we beat them by 1 point. so they can play. We're not going to take them very much lightly, but I agree. I think that team is definitely the team to beat.
And it's funny, it was just only a couple years ago where it seemed like every year there was a 2 or 3 year run in Division II where it was 10 seeds that were winning championships. Monadnock and Hanover, I think, went back to back as number 10 seeds, and now who knows? Maybe you have an 11 seed that does it. What a great story it would be. It would just be the Cinderella story of the year if Coe-Brown were to win the championship.
Oh, it sure would. And if you had said this a month ago, even uttered that word, Coe-Brown could win the championship, people would have laughed at you. But they're on a roll right now. They got that Cinderella thing working for them. Let's see how it works out on Wednesday night.
I think you got to give a lot of credit to Dave Smith, their head coach. Coach Smith, he's also the headmaster of the school. He's been there for, I think, 30 years. He's been there for a long time. And he's just, as a coach, he's one of those guys, you don't hear him very much. He's not, rah-rah, and like screaming at his players and screaming at the refs. He's really calm out there. I think he has a calming influence on that team. He teaches them the fundamentals, and he teaches them to work hard and play as a team. And I think, Darren Duyon has kind of flown under the radar, and now when Coe-Brown goes to play at UNH, more people are going to be able to see him play. They're going to see what kind of a really good player he is, and Darling and Mitchell. This is a very good team that deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 teams in the Final Four that I haven't seen a lot of, and I bet you a lot of people haven't seen a lot of those guys. So I think come Wednesday night, UNH Lundholm Gymnasium, you can expect the unexpected in that game. Which game is the first game? Is it the Bedford Hanover game is the late game, correct? So that would be Portsmouth Coe-Brown will be the early game.
Usually they always have the number 1 seed has the later game. Yeah. So I believe it'll be Hanover Bedford second game and Pembroke Coe-Brown first game.
Pembroke didn't make it.
Or Coe-Brown Portsmouth second game. Yeah, did I say Pembroke? Oh.
Hey, we thought it was going to happen. Yeah. That's why we're all shocked this morning.
Yeah, and I mean, so for predictions, I think we both like Portsmouth to win it. I think Hanover Bedford, I think it's a toss-up. I'm gonna pick Bedford and then Portsmouth in the finals. Who do you like?
I say Bedford, Portsmouth in the finals, and I think that's a problem for Bedford because the guard play, Kamal Walker, Billy Lane, it's too many problems for Bedford, despite the size advantage that they have.
Yeah, some other very good teams in this Final Four, but I think me and Pete, we're both in agreement that Portsmouth is the team to beat at UNH. So that's our Division II boys basketball Final Four preview on the New Hampshire Notebook. Thanks to Pete Terrier and on NHNotebook.com. Thank you.